What is the difference between a peaceful man and a weak man? A man that is peaceful knows he is capable of committing violence, and that violence would be in the situations of protecting those around you, of your loved ones. A peaceful man knows that a time may come when he has to put everything on the line for someone else. A peaceful man can't be caught up in his head. He knows he is capable of doing extraordinary things. A peaceful man knows that under the right circumstances that he will take a life if that is what is needed to protect those around him. That's what makes him peaceful. He knows he can, but he doesn't until it is required. A weak man will not act. A weak man knows that when time comes for him to act, that he will fail. And that's the kind of knowledge that will eat a guy up. I never really thought about violence and what I theoretically could be capable of doing until I had my first child. And when you're holding your child, it clicks. And I think every man's mind, when you're holding your child, I get it. This is worth protecting. This is worth dying for. If anyone so much as get close to my daughters, I know what I have to do. When you know what you're capable of, in a way it is incredibly peaceful's not the word, but it's calming. I think of, look at a graph, and we're going to use intensity level, threat intensity level. The bottom, no threat, complete comfort. You may be asleep. And at the very high is the maximum amount possible pressure that you can have. And everyone has a threshold somewhere in the middle. The bottom half is the non-violent options a man has to maintain the peace. The top half of that graph is the violent options. Now, as you're going through life, you're going to be interacting with different intensity levels throughout, and again, most of the time, everything is non-violent. But you know that there's a point where if an intensity level gets above a certain point, you know what you have to do. And that knowledge really it's very sobering. No guy ever wants to be there. It's if you have to go into a violent state, it often may mean that everything changes from that point on. A guy knows that in the defense of his family, in the defense of those around him, he may be put in jail for doing the right thing. A man who is competent in violence understands the value in trying every other option. A weak man knows he can't be violent. He can't perform. So his threshold is low. He'll start acting out, going crazy, being causing damage to those he loves as opposed to protecting. Over the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years, we have been taught that violence is never an option. And they're dead wrong. Violent men keep society safe. The biggest group at fault, I would say, are Christian men, the church. We forget the verses that talk about Jesus talking to his disciples that if you don't have a sword, sell your clothes and buy one. We're supposed to defend ourselves. And if you're not willing to become violent, you are a weak man. Right now in this country, 2026, we need more violent men. And what I mean by that, we need men willing to step up and give it all for right reasons. There's a lot of violence in the street right now. That's not what I'm talking about. We need men who can stand up for what's right and who are prepared to give it all so that others can live in peace. Until that happens, our country is going to keep going downhill. Mayors and governors and politicians try to take away your means of defending yourself. We need men to stand up and tell them no. I forget who it was that said this, but all that is necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. There's a lot of evil right now. Which also means the bar to becoming a good man is very low. You just have to stand up just a little bit, and you are already way better than most everyone around you. So that's just my thoughts. A peaceful man knows he can be violent, but chooses every other possibility until no other possibility is possible. We need violent men.